I'm Jeff Fritz with Soundstage.com, and I'm joined today by Tony Stott. He is the head of marketing for UK based Cambridge Audio. Tony, how are you today?
Very good, Jeff. Nice to be here. Thanks for asking me on.
Well, I appreciate you being here. And, we have at the Soundstage Network, we have reviewed Cambridge Audio products for many years. And, they're some of the most widely read reviews that we do. And I think part of it is because the products are so accessible. And you guys have a huge product line. You guys have just tons of stuff, electronics, but I know you guys make other things as well. Give us a little bit of overview of Cambridge Audio, what you guys are up to, and what you're doing over there in the UK.
Yeah, sure. Well, we are still high-end audio for the people, I guess. Our sort of aims and ambitions haven't really changed in 50 years. We like to make product that represents the great and articulates the great British sound. We like to make products that are accessible. I think is probably the best way to describe it. We quite often audio and hi-fi can be quite intimidating for people who aren't already ensconced in that world. And I think Cambridge Audio tried to make that easy, and our products should be, simple to buy, simple to own, and simple to sell. And that's really really important to us. So right now we're heavily focused on our amplifier business, which is, has been the core of our activity for a long time. But we're also kind of branching out into things like headphones. So this is Melomania True Wireless in-ear headphones, and obviously the things that we've learned from making great quality hi-fi translate quite nicely into the headphone space as well. But we're also producing more and more hybrid type hi-fi. So hi-fi that's an amplifier and a streamer put together, such as the Evo unit behind me here. And that's proving very successful for us. It's certainly got uh, a permission factor about it, I think, a sort of spousal acceptance factor that a big stack of black boxes might not have. But
Right.
something that's as elegant and stylish as this definitely does. So yeah, that's kind of where we are right now. We still make high quality audio. We're branching out into a few different areas, but our core hi-fi business remains, incredibly important to us.
Well, one of the things that, has really struck me about Cambridge Audio the last few years, you guys, I don't want to say you guys made a lot of vanilla type products, but compared to what you're making now, there is something for everyone. And, it really began for me at least, like the antennas went up with the Edge product line. I think, I mean, I'm into the really high end stuff. And when that product line showed up, it was like, wow, okay, that's different from Cambridge. And, it really looked like it took a back seat to nothing. Tell us a little bit about Edge and how that's going. I know you're a couple years into that now, but tell us a little bit about the
Yeah.
Edge product line.
So Edge is a really interesting proposition for Cambridge Audio. It's a space and a price point at which we'd never operated. But the whole thing came about as a way of celebrating 50 years in the audio industry. Cambridge Audio started in 1968. A group of graduates from Cambridge University. One of them was called Professor Gordon Edge, and the name of the Edge system comes from that. I mean, it's a cool surname as well, so that definitely helps. But the Edge components consist of, there's four components now in the range. The Edge NQ, which is a preamplifier network player, the Edge A, which is an integrated amplifier, the Edge W, which is a power amplifier, which partners perfectly with an Edge NQ, and now we've got the Edge M, which is a monoblock amplifier. So a pair of those partnered with an Edge NQ is a really, really lovely system. And one well worth investigating if you get a chance to audition. In terms of what goes into an Edge system, the idea really behind it was, the ethos behind it was to keep the signal path incredibly short, incredibly simple. And therefore we were able to articulate this kind of natural British sound for which that we aspire to with all of our products. It's that kind of unfiltered, neutral sound that lets the flavour of the recording come through rather than the flavour of the equipment. Now, obviously, how you pair that with speakers may well influence your sort of final output. But the idea with Edge was our very, very best version of Great British Sound that we could do, and that's what we've done.
Well, and it's been really interesting just to watch the development and the products roll out. And I think since Edge, the next product that I want to ask you about, and it really is just the coolest form factor. I was looking at the website the other day, and it just looks like it would meld terrific in almost any decor. Is the Evo line? So tell us about the Evo products and just give us an overview of that product line.
Yeah, so Evo is two products, two amplifier streamers all in one systems. We've got the 75 and the 150. So the whole point behind Evo was to we've been in the streaming marketplace now for around 10 years. We started in 2011 with our MP30. We moved on to a product called the Stream Magic, and we've done 6 or 7 products now with the Stream Magic platform at the heart of it, which is all about streaming. It's all about digital music, and really Evo is the kind of celebration of that. It's a way of bringing together the things that we're really, really good at, and we're really good at amplifiers. We're really good at streaming. And so to put those all together in one box and then make that box beautiful is kind of the whole Evo ethos, really. It's the simplicity that says just add speakers, get great quality sound. It's simplicity that says everything you need is just in one box, and it's been a huge success for us. That lovely big screen, that great control dial on the side, the interchangeable side panels. We've used Class D amplification for the first time, which has enabled us to get this incredibly small form factor. But we realised a little while back that Class D was becoming something that could be used in a kind of audiophile product. And while Evo it's certainly a kind of lifestyle looking product, I would defy you to tell me that it's not proper hi-fi, because we sincerely believe that it is. So whilst it's in a different form factor, it certainly lives up to the heritage that Cambridge Audio have behind our brand name.
Well, and you mentioned the interchangeable side panels, which was something that kind of caught my eye on the website. And when you look at that and you look at the Edge product, you guys, and you obviously mentioned that the performance is key, but you guys have put some work into the industrial design as well, and how these products actually fit into someone's home, and making an attractive addition to someone's home. Can you speak a little bit about what you guys do in terms of industrial design, and how that has taken maybe even more importance in the last few years than maybe in previous times?
Well, funny enough, I mean, Edge that you mentioned earlier as well, and Evo from the same industrial designer. Jed Martin is the industrial designer in charge of both of those particular projects, and Jed has, I think with Evo, he was looking at furniture as an inspiration more than hi-fi. So Evo had to fit into your living room. It had to look almost as good turned off as it did turned on and kind of in action and being used. And that was really where he took it from. The walnut side panels are a kind of callback to our first ever amplifier, which was the P40 from 1968. Done by that group in Cambridge, and if you find pictures of that, they look very, very similar in terms of the way that the side panels work. To make them interchangeable was not everybody. Walnut is not going to go in every room, and we want Evo to be able to go into every room. So at the moment, I've got the black Richlite side panels on there, and for an alternative material, Jed decided to look into the world of again furniture design. And Richlite is made primarily from recycled paper, but it's used in all sorts of applications, like guitar fretboards and things like that as well. So it's a really interesting material. And Jed kind of, if you talk to him about design, his kind of eyes light up a little bit, and he'll tell you how he likes the sort of form factor to, um, it's the way that the materials work with one another, and it's the way that that product should look. It should be able to take sort of pride of place, but not overwhelm a room. And I think that's exactly what he's managed to achieve with Evo. It's a really strong statement, I think, but one that you'd be happy to have in most rooms around the house.
Yeah, I agree. I think it looks terrific. Well, the last question, Tony, I have for you today is about manufacturing. You guys have a pretty full product line, and some of the companies that Soundstage deals with, there's a little bit of a delay if you order a product, or just certain models within product lines are a little slow to ship. What are the manufacturing, maybe some of the challenges, and are you guys shipping those products, particularly the Edge and the Evo, right now?
Yeah, so we are still so there's a global shortage of semiconductors, and that's affecting manufacturers all over the world. There's only so many wafers that the chips are made of that everything can stem from, and so we've been working incredibly hard to secure components, to make sure that we've got buffer stock of the right components, and that our manufacturing process is such that we can switch into popular lines and make sure that we're still manufacturing those lines that are in consumer demand. It's not always the case that we can get that absolutely right, but manufacturing globally is difficult right now. But we still have stocks of Evo, we still have stocks of Edge, we still have stocks going out to our retail partners, and yeah, if you want to buy Cambridge Audio, you should be able to buy most products in the lineup.
Okay, that's terrific. Well, I guess I do have one more question for you. And I tend to ask this question, even though sometimes I don't get exactly the answer that I'm looking for. But what can we expect from Cambridge, maybe in the next year? Is there anything that you can tell us about that's under development, or what's going on in the next little while?
There's loads I could tell you about, but I'd probably lose my job. So let's leave it at there's some really exciting, innovative stuff coming from Cambridge Audio. We are going to be delighted to share it with you when it's finally able to be done. And keep an eye on our sort of social channels and that sort of thing, where we tend to announce these things, first. But yeah, it's an exciting time to be in the industry right now. Digital music has finally reached a point where it's able to, I think, compete in a high end world, and it's something we're good at. And I'm delighted that we're able to advance that and push it forward.
Well, that's awesome. Well, Tony, thank you so much for joining me today and giving us an update on Cambridge Audio. And, to all of our viewers slash Soundstage readers out there, keep an eye on Soundstage. We'll have more Cambridge Audio reviews coming in the next few months. So, well, Tony, have a good day, and I really appreciate your time.
Thanks, Jeff. Much appreciated.